Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of the Wild and the Whites podcast. So, we're back here today at the House of Buckley.
Welcome.
And I'm sitting here with Andrew Buckley, Paul Piscatelli, and the one and only Cannon, who is hyper as all get up today.
And warm.
But
there's a lot to say.
So, we apologize for the panting in the background, but he's just trying to make himself comfortable. So today...
Yeah.
We decided that we were going to talk about what gear we use and bring out with us in different situations and go through kind of all the different situations of when we go out in the woods, what we bring with us, why we bring what we bring during different situations and everything with that. And so, obviously, Paul, you are, and this is really saying something, you are a little bit more of a gearhead than I am.
Yeah.
Which is really saying something because I have a lot of stuff too.
I mean, let's face it, we all love gear.
Right. So, yeah, I think that we should start with Paul, and I'll move into any differences maybe that I do with things. But Paul, you are like more than over-prepared every time you go out. So
100%. And honestly, I think that starts back to... honestly, I was in Boy Scouts, like, be prepared, like, bring all that into the table. Like,
Yep.
That was ingrained in me starting out at a young age. And
right.
just grew from there, getting into the job that we all do and
Yep.
seeing all the differences and all the different things that we might get into when we're in the woods and different reasons to have different pieces of gear.
Right.
Paul, let me ask you something. If there was, like, a base of something that you'd bring in, what is that thing that you bring every time, no matter whether you're going out scouting for a carry out
Thing, or you want to do a pocket dump? Because those are two different
a little
things.
EDC.
Because I have my pocket dump. Like, if we did that one day, like, that's a total different topic. But going in the woods, if I did a pocket dump, I always got my knife on me. I always have, obviously, my wallet, my keys, my phone, that type of stuff. Then usually I have one of my handguns on me. I carry every day, as you guys both know. Other than that, depending the time of day will depend what else is on me. Like, today we went out in the woods and I had a bottle of water with me. I had a flashlight in my pocket. Like, just little things. It all depends on what we're going for, how long the projected plan is to be in the woods, and what I could possibly need. I knew the three of us were all going in today. All right, I don't need to bring
Well, that makes
stuff.
two of us.
I don't need to bring certain things that if it was just me and him going in the woods for the day,
Yeah.
or for a little hike or whatever, that's a total different topic. Like, I bring stuff for me and him on those days. But just the three of us, okay, I know what we're going out there to do. We had a task we're going out there for, and then we're coming back. Like,
And it depends on where we're going too.
Yeah.
that's a big thing.
Yeah.
It really does depend where I'm going, what I'm doing.
Where we went today, it's pretty darn easy to know that we're going to be able to extricate ourselves very easily, very simply, and without much effort at all. And if we needed help's going to be really close to us to get to us quickly and everything like that. We're not going to need to hunker down. But like if you're going out in some of the other places where we, where we hike, where we hunt, where we do all this recreation, it might just it might be one of those things where you plan on an easy day trip, but you also prepare for staying out there longer. And I know Paul, typically, every time we go out anywhere, he's pretty much got a giant backpack on him, full of all kinds of stuff. I tend to carry a fanny pack more than a...
Yeah, you usually have your fanny pack. I carry a backpack, and half of the reason I carry a backpack, even when we're hunting, is it's more comfortable for me. Like, not the fanny pack idea. I don't mind the weight on my waist, but I'd prefer it to be kind of more evenly spread out, I guess. And I've hunted with a backpack since, again, I was 12. Like, that's all I've known. I never really got into that full fanny pack side of things. I do have one. I do use it occasionally, but it's not my primary go-to.
What's your go-to bag?
Depends what time of year.
Nah?
But my go-to bag is a Mystery Ranch bag. You know
Nice.
that.
Yep.
Mr. Copycat, I see
Yeah,
him over there.
hey, man's got good taste.
The Mystery Ranch Coolies, those bags are well designed. I like how they have a cannon. No.
Get some grease.
I like how they have a tri-zipper design, so you can open the bag up without fully filleting it open and dumping stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
You can get into the bottom, you can get in the middle, get in the top. If you know how you pack your bag, that's a big thing too. It's how you pack your bag. Whether you layer for different, like, I usually put things I know I'm going to use at the top. Rain jacket, rain gear if I'm going on a hike, food, snacks, extra stuff for him, toys for him, whatever. That's usually at the top. My first aid kit's usually towards the bottom. My can you stop? My extra socks, stuff like that. If my feet get wet, those are towards the bottom. And those are usually all in a dry bag. Like, I usually run a dry bag in my backpack along with the stuff I know I'm going to use. The stuff I know I'm going to use, I don't care, because it's probably going to come out. If it starts raining, it's probably rain gear. If it's food, I know I'm probably going to eat it. Let's be real. I'm hungry most of the time. I eat all the time of the day. So, you keep all that stuff kind of layered and tiered up in your bag, and those coolie bags are really nice because something changes. They're pretty quick to get into. Grab what you need to grab, and then you can keep going.
Yep.
And I like the outer pockets. They got 4 outer pockets, 2 on the sides that are like water bottle holders, and there's 2 on the actual front of the bag that could be more water holders. For me, with him, one usually has his dog food in it, or another extra bottle of water that's just for him. His collapsible water bowl's in there, or usually one of his toys, either his ball or his bumper. So.
Are you have a go-to bag? And obviously, yes, type of year, but
Right.
you can guess that I'm willing to bet that coolie bag goes with you for most everything.
So I have the coolie. What are those? The 25s.
25s and the 45s.
Yeah. So I have the 25 and the 40, and they're both in my truck 24/7. One's in the box in the bed of my truck. One's in the cab. And most of the time, this time of year, I'm running the 25. If once fall kicks in or it's a carry out, something work related, I'll tend to switch over to the 40 just because I can get more stuff in there.
Changing seasons, you need to have that combination of summer and winter clothes almost.
Right.
For the
and depending on the elevation you go at too, you got to take that into factor. I mean, my bag that I keep is this old Osprey bag that I used back when I was I worked for state parks and I was using it, so that was when I was in early college. So I've had it a while, and it just I'm familiar with the layout of it, and you can fit a good amount of stuff in it. You can fit a ton of extra layers in it, and it's got pretty good separation of pockets inside of it, stuff on the sides and everything like that, and it's got 4 different pockets going down the front of it, so you can kind of I usually set up my food on the way outside of it, depending on well, it's either on the way outside or the way inside, depending on if it needs to be more cool on the inside in the summer, or if I want it way on the outside, I'll put it on the outside in the cool weather, based on the temperature that I want it. But I really don't overthink. Like I probably should do more thinking into how I pack it. But I never hunt with that. And usually the times when I'm most prepared are when I think that I'm going to go out hunting and possibly could get on like a track and have to go somewhere where I don't know where it's going to lead me, and I'm going to be so focused on something that it's where it's leading and I'm not paying attention to where I'm at, and then I might have to spend an extended amount of time out there if I have to spend a night or something like that out in the woods. I'm so used to carrying my fanny pack that's pretty much what I put everything in. And I've got a small little, what are they called? The heat blankets.
Mylar blankets.
Yes, yeah. Yep. Keep one of those in there because they take up zero space, right?
Yep.
And then in that pack, I keep a lighter, and then I keep waterproof matches. And one of the things I learned from the Benoit books that they do is every time they pass by a birch tree, they'll take a little bit of birch bark that's peeled off of it and just stick it in their pockets. And if at the end of the day they never needed it, then they can either toss it on the ground or they can put it in like a bag and save it for another time. So I'll do that as I walk sometimes, and I'll just like stuff my pockets full of birch bark to have something to start a fire with later. But I also, one of the things that I bought recently that goes with me, I didn't bring it today because, again, where we were dictated that I didn't bring pretty much anything with me today.
Like, I'm pretty sure you both know me well enough. I don't usually walk in the woods as bare as I did today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and neither do I. The
Highway
reason
to one
why
side, river to the other, train tracks to the side. Like,
you're not going to get lost.
Yeah.
Or if you do, you have no
Just
business being in the woods.
just move forward. You're going to find something.
Right. You're either going to hit every corner of where we were at, you're going to hit a very big landmark or road. So, but one thing I bought recently was the Spot X. It's a satellite messenger. So that if I don't have service, it still has the ability. I can program phone numbers into it. There's a set amount of phone numbers, and I forget how many off the top of my head. It's like 5 or 10, somewhere in that area, that I can program into it, and I can send text messages to those numbers, and it costs me X amount of cents per message to utilize it. But it also has the 911 feature where if I just hold it down for 5 seconds, then it sends a GPS ping to 911 and notifies them where I'm at. It's very similar to like the Garmin InReach, if you guys are familiar with that. But I was listening to a podcast. Wayne Saunders, who's a retired game warden from our area, has a podcast.
Yeah, he does.
Warden's Watch. Really good podcast, by the way.
Nah, I like that a lot.
He was talking on there about how Spot has better reception, he finds, in the White Mountains than Garmin does for some reason. Garmin has great reception so many places, so if you go a ton of different places, maybe the Garmin's right for you. But because I typically am out in the White Mountains, I was like, well, if that's the case, and it's a former game warden who had to go out and find people, and he's saying that Spot has the better service, then I'm going to go with that company.
For here, sure.
Right. So so that's what I went with, and I carry that with me anytime, especially if I'm out by myself, because I'm accident prone. Like, I come back and I've usually got something that hurts.
You accident prone?
Yeah,
no.
Absolutely.
No,
yeah.
not at all.
I'm surprised how well we did today.
Yeah, neither of us fell. It was great.
Neither one of us fell.
We were there for, what, 3 hours?
Yeah, roundabout.
2.
Yeah. Oh, 2, 3? Well, you were. Yeah.
You were there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You guys were there for about 2, 3. 3.
Yeah, but you gave us water when we got back to
we
the
came
truck.
back out, and there he was standing there with ice cold water for us.
Yeah,
It was like the least I can do.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, in terms of what I bring, like, one of the big things too is like, how much water do you bring with you, Paul?
All depends on where we're going and how far in. I know, and it depends. Is it just me, or do I get him?
Right. Right.
I know when we went up to that orchard a while back, I had enough water for me and enough for him, which that was only a short hike, but I still had what's that, 2 32-ounce bottles on my back.
Right.
Like, if we're going farther, I might have 3, 2 for me and 1 for him, or 2 for him. Like, it just depends. I know my body, how hydrated I am. I try and stay up on my hydration so that way I can go in
Yep.
and not have to carry as much sometimes. But
Yep.
at the end of the day, we all need to drink. But I also, most of the time, have water purification of some form in my bag.
100%.
So
Yep.
whether it's, I'm allergic to iodine, so I can't do the tablets.
Yep.
So I have the drips.
Yes.
It's the, I don't know exactly what it's called. I want to say it's the Aquaform or something like that. But it's just 2-part drip. It's a part A and part B drip that you put in your water, and then 15 minutes it's pure. I have that. I have one of the Life straws.
Yeah.
And then I
like
also
those.
have a gray bottle with a filter.
Yep.
And that thing's awesome.
Yep.
Just the filters can sometimes be a little pricey for just a day hike. So
Right.
or just going out and running that instead.
I use
always-
the
no, go-
Sawyer squeeze,
Yes, that's what I use.
but there's so many parts to it.
Yep. Yep.
That's the only down. The straw is simple,
Yeah.
convenient. I find the Sawyer squeeze is nice because you can take a ton of water and just filter it.
Mm-hmm.
It just has a lot of parts.
Right. But it rolls up
It
really
does.
pretty small, and so
Mhm.
I keep that in my fanny pack too when I go out, because what I do is I try to drink as much water the night before I go out, and then the morning of before I go out. If I'm going out hunting or going out on a long hike, so that I don't carry the extra, especially hunting, so I don't carry the extra weight with me. But I will like stock up on as much water, drink as much of it as possible, and then in the woods with me, I usually just bring like a 16-ounce bottle of Gatorade just to have those electrolytes just to sip on. But then if I get stuck out there, I'm going to want more water, so that's why I bring the Sawyer squeeze. I do like it. It works really well.
And it does a really good job of cleaning it out.
Yeah.
I also usually bring, when you spoke about electrolytes, I usually have a liquid IV packet
Yeah.
or something like that in my bag.
Mhm.
So that way, like, you know when your body's starting to
Yeah.
get fatigued.
You get a little
and
shaky.
You get a little shaky. You get a little
Yep.
down, and you need a little bit of a pick-me-up, and those liquid IV packs
My buddy
are great.
brings just a salt, sugar packets.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hmm.
Just grabs a handful of them.
The other thing that I bring is the company Grinds makes pouches that are like the like Zyn
caffeine
pouches,
pouches?
but they're
Yeah.
full of ground espresso beans. And so you pop one of those in your lip and just suck on that for a little while you're going around. And it's just espresso beans. It gets you a little caffeine, gets you going a little bit. So
Yeah.
especially if like in the morning when I'm about to head out and if I'm getting up really early, I don't want to drink a ton of coffee because that often will dehydrate you more than anything. I want to just be drinking water. So then I'll stick one of those in my lip like almost all day long as I'm just going out and about there. So
Yeah, those grind pouches are nice.
they are. They're really nice. Yeah, and they have a good punch to them. Like they have a good amount of caffeine. You actually can feel it. So
Yeah, and it is interesting because you think of the quality of the water that we have in this area.
I've drank out of the streams
I've-
around here since I was a kid without filtering
Yeah.
it. And most of the time,
really, yeah.
most of the time you're gonna
Yep.
be fine.
I mean,
Like,
especially when you start getting deep into the woods.
as long as the water's moving in this area, I'd say you're probably safe.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the other part of it: anything that you're gonna catch, you're looking at 24 to 48 hours
Before it hits you, yeah.
Right. So,
Right.
am I gonna risk it? Yeah, I'm gonna risk it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
plenty of times.
If I'm thirsty and I'm hurting and I'm trying to make my way out, because I wasn't expecting it to be this hot, or I mean,
Right. Right.
These days, I mean, it says that it was supposed to be 76 today. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
93.
Yep.
The
Yep.
You never
forecasts
know.
in this area just aren't so great. But speaking
and
of,
you can't trust any of the
No.
forecasts. Like
Mm-mm.
they're gonna say it's gonna be sunny and clear and sunny, and next thing you know, we got thunderstorms rolling through with hail warnings, and it's like, all right,
Yep.
and that kind of brought up that other conversation of, trusting apps.
Oh yeah.
We've found some apps that work really well for this area, and other apps that are, they're close. But
Right.
do you guys run a particular app?
I think we saved that one for a different topic.
We can.
The app conversation.
We can.
If you want to have a short conversation,
We can do a
on it.
short conversation.
Yeah,
That works.
yeah. Let's do a short one on it.
I
We
know
can
we
do a
talked
deeper
about
dive
it
into it some
separate.
other time, but
At the end of the day, I definitely feel like when I'm going out and there's certain things that I'm putting into my bag,
Mhm.
I'm planning on the day,
Oh yeah.
and
I constantly look at the weather.
yeah. So
And-
are we talking about weather apps? Like what kind of apps are you talking about?
yeah,
Because like for me, checking the weather, I go right to the National Weather Service, NOAA's website. That seems to be not always super accurate, but it's the most accurate for that I tend to find. Like your weather app on your iPhone, I
Don't trust
rarely
that.
use that. It rarely use that.
So interesting. There used to be an app called Dark Sky
Yep.
that would take geolocated weather data from like your forest stations,
yeah,
and that's how they would calculate the weather for your area.
mm-hmm.
Apple Corp bought Dark Sky and now uses their algorithms and mapping and whatnot for their weather.
yeah,
I'm convinced that they've mashed it with something else because it's not nearly as accurate as it used to be.
right.
But
Huh?
Apple's, I hate to plug somebody, but Apple's weather is a lot better than it ever used to be. But Dark Sky was a fantastic app.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it's as accurate as you kind of expect an app to be.
It's like throwing on TV and just seeing
Right.
what the weather.
Either you have the app Storm.
Mm-mm.
No.
So I've been running that app since I was 16, roughly. So a couple years now. We used that app that was back when I was doing roofing,
Mm-hmm.
and that app has still to this day barely ever let me down for
Really?
weather in this area, and it's quick to update
Mhm.
if there is a change. I get push notifications on
Yep.
storms coming in.
My NOAA app's really good about the storm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have to pay for it now. I think they changed it. It was originally free for years, and then I think they made you had to pay for it. But it was so accurate that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pay for this.
Yeah.
And I still trust that one over any other app, and that's been good for me up and down the East Coast. Like down in Florida, it's worked. In Rhode Island, it's worked. Up here, it's worked. I haven't seen it really fail often, and I'm guessing it's going off of NOAA, but
Who
I
knows?
think there's also some other factors at play.
Yep.
The other thing is funny as it is, you go on Facebook, there's that New England weather guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been pretty
Yeah.
accurate.
Of
Yeah.
everybody that
Everybody
yeah.
that you can find, he's been pretty accurate, and he does. In the wintertime, he does that whole bread and milk
Yep.
Yep.
The
index,
rating.
which
Yep.
is pretty funny. And
Yeah.
Who's the other guy? Doppler Dwayne. He's a firefighter out of the southern part of the state. Just an amateur weather guy, and he does a pretty darn good job too.
I'll
Doppler
check him
Dwayne.
out.
So yeah.
Never heard of them.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
No, I mean in terms of like wind direction and everything like that, because that's a big thing for hunting.
Yep.
Yeah.
I use my Onyx for that.
Yep.
I use my Onyx for almost everything else. Tracking where I went, topography, all that kind of stuff.
I use my Onyx when I'm hiking. I use
All the
my
time.
Onyx when I'm just out wandering around.
Mhm.
Like, I've used it even when I've been in the cities. Like, you're curious
Yeah.
who owns something or where it is. It's like,
Yep.
all right, I'm going to pull this up. I can do that real quick.
Yep.
You have used it for work,
Mhm.
trying to figure out who the property owner is on something that we're on.
Yeah,
too.
I've used that all the time at work.
Onyx is great. It's a
Yeah.
great
It
app.
is. Yep.
And it's really useful in different scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
I've also gone as far as I've used the Onyx, the off-road version.
Yep.
So you have all the four-wheeling trails and all that.
Yep.
And that's even great.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I've never really explored the other versions of it because there's the off-road version and there's one other one too that I can't remember
Is
what
it
the.
marine?
I don't know. I can't remember.
For marine stuff, I use Navonics.
Yeah.
For when I'm out on the
Yes.
lake.
Yeah.
If I'm out on Squam or Winnie, if I don't know where I'm going, I'll
Yeah.
try and use Navonics just to
Yes.
get a good picture of where
Yeah.
I'm going. an idea where the buoys are. As we all know, the buoy system in New Hampshire is not like probably everywhere else.
Right.
It's one of the better in New England.
It's still not like if you're used to being on the ocean, it is not that way.
Is that the one also where like it has basic topography, but you can upload your own data to it?
I believe so.
As you if you like
it's
scan
put
with
on
your
through
phone.
Garmin. It's through Garmin.
Yeah. Yep. Because you can, if you have a Garmin, you can, as you're scanning the bottom, as you're like trolling or driving
add
through,
stuff.
you can add it onto
Yeah,
that
it
app.
works.
Yep.
It coincides with their marine GPS systems you can put on your boat.
Yep.
It's the same exact screen you get. I actually compared it. We just got a new one up at the firehouse in Littleton. New GPS on the boat up there, and I was comparing screens just to see, and it's pretty similar.
Oh, good. Yeah, I've never done that, so it is pretty accurate just in their base.
Yep. No,
Good.
it's accurate, and it'll stay right with you. So.
Yeah, I'll use that for even when I'm just like out on the kayak and I want to try to find the topography under the water to try to find where certain species of fish might be.
Yep.
Is there an underwater hill here? Is there a big dip here? Is there a run coming down from the shoreline where bait fish might be culminating? So I'll use that for the underwater topography to try to figure out where the fish might be, especially for like ice fishing or if I'm on my kayak. Like that's a great way to do it. So
You lost your ball.
Got a ball rescue.
yeah.
He's just looking for attention. He's bored. Yeah, I'm just running the Onyx backcountry,
Okay.
and that's kind of just got a pretty basic setup for what I need. Between hiking and trying to find where you guys are.
Is there a subscription for that?
No.
Is it like the hunt
I'm
version?
cheap.
Yeah.
I'm
Come on, it's not that expensive.
No, but when you add up 6-7 of these things, and I'm like, I used this
Yeah, Gaia's
a
not
year
that
ago.
cheap.
No, it is not.
No.
I had Gaia for a while, and I finally gave
Gaia's
it up.
it's good though. Like there's a lot of overlaid maps that you can
There's
put in.
a lot of maps you can put in.
The free version of Gaia is nice, but yeah. Onyx, I think
I
is
knew
just a
I
lot
should have
clearer.
ran him before we tried to do this today.
Yeah, I've definitely seen Gaia, and Gaia does have a lot of benefits to it that Onyx doesn't have. But the thing that I do like about Onyx, especially their hunt version, is your ability to put points on them and label them with different icons so easily, so that you can really just by seeing it know what your different
Like you're walking up on
pinpoints are.
an area, and you're like, I remember I found something here during scouting season, and now.
Right.
What was up here, and you pull up your phone and you can see exactly.
Because Gaia you can put pins on, but it's just all a generic pin logo on it. Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah, that is a nice little touch.
And I am an Onyx Elite member.
Oh,
Yeah.
Aren't you special?
But no,
I'm down here with the basics.
no, it's nice because I don't know the backcountry version of it. Can you see like other states and stuff like that too? Yeah.
Can you see property areas?
Yeah, like property
Some.
owners, topography,
So-
like all the.
Government, local, federal, that's all on there. But like individual property owners, it doesn't really pop up.
Yep.
Which
But-
I think that's part of the special features about Onyx Hunt
Yep.
over any of the other platforms, is we can see the property boundaries and the
Right.
property owners.
I use the Gaia to see the property owners. Like when we were up there at Chris's place, being able to see where his property line is versus the national forest versus his neighbors.
Yep.
So you're getting that feature just out of a different app.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We did find that it wasn't all that accurate,
No,
but
honestly, from what I've seen and heard from a lot of people, is none of them are honestly 100%
No.
accurate.
No.
It just gives you an idea.
Gaia
Yeah.
was about 20 feet off.
Which is darn close for an app. When you think about it, like how much data has to go into that app, like
But what is nice is that it gets you within that area, and it's like, all right, somewhere in here is a stake that's
Right.
painted, and there it is.
right.
Yeah.
And then you can put your own
Yep.
plot on. So,
Yep.
And then I think he overlaid it with Google Earth. So he took the Gaia data that he was mapping, took that and just plotted it onto Google Earth.
Nice.
And that put it real clear. So
Awesome.
Yeah, I like Onyx Elite just because it's like everything for all the states. So like if you're just like a basic member, you can choose one state to have everything in it. But you get it for all the states. So if you do some traveling, it can really help. And like I'm in Vermont, I'm in Maine, I'm all over the place sometimes. So I was just out visiting family in Minnesota, and we were about to, my uncle and I were going to go through a nature reserve, and I was able to look right down in on it. They have like the leaf off imagery too, which is really helpful.
like
You
a
can
LiDAR
toggle back
kind of
and forth
thing.
between those two. You also can do recent imagery. It's much more pixelated, but it's 100% within 2 weeks of when you select
that.
it.
Yeah, I
It's
remember
just
that.
not as clear.
You learned
but
that at Huntstock
I
last
did.
year.
Yes, I did learn it at Huntstock last year. So that's really good. But then also you can request like a specific picture from Onyx, and they will give you the recent imagery really high definition from them with a short turnaround. But it's not like you can scan through it. It's like, I want a picture of this area right now, and you submit that to them, and it's just you get a picture back from them as to what it looks like. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And it's $100 a year, so it's a lot of money when you think about it being $100, but it's not a lot of money when you think about
It's
it
cheaper
split up
than a
every
Planet
month.
Fitness subscription.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I don't have a Planet Fitness subscription.
Is that really why?
One of the reasons why. The other one being there isn't one around here.
Ah,
obviously.
I was gonna say,
That's what it
Laconia.
is. Right,
Wow.
yeah.
Belmont.
One of the towns down that way.
Yeah.
I think he put his ball under the couch again.
Yeah.
And that this time it's tough. We're not dealing with it.
Yep.
He can lay down.
On the plus side, Onyx is going to get you outside
Yes.
hiking.
Yes.
Well worth it.
It is. Yeah.
For more investment advice.
See, this
See,
is
Zach.
also why also, a great idea is buy game cameras that do not go to your phone.
You have
and
to
then you
check
have
out
to
them.
go out and check them and put them in really bad places that you have
So
to
you're
hike out
hating
to.
yourself
So
as you're
you
walking
have
out
to
there.
get one heck of a workout to get out to them.
I can think of a couple ones that even with them going to my phone, you got to go back out to them here and there,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a hike.
I put a couple out this spring, and I was going up this wicked steep embankment, and there was like a 1/4 inch of snow on the ground. So like every step was like half a step back. And all I could think about was like, I really hope I come back out here during dry weather, because this is going to suck even in dry weather.
Speaking of wet weather, dry weather, going back to our gear topic.
Yeah, yeah. We should
Footwear.
probably circle back onto our
Circle
topic.
back.
Footwear.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, I know it depends where we're going and what the plan is. I don't know for you guys exactly how you run and operate. I know
I wear
for
the same thing no matter what we're doing, but yeah, go ahead.
I know for myself, like if I'm just gonna go do a trail walk or go on one of the little hiking trails around here, get a couple miles in with him, I'm probably just gonna run trail running shoes. Like I'm not gonna switch to hiking boots or any
Which
other
I
type of boot.
think we all are rocking the same or similar.
Very similar shoes. Yeah. You're welcome, because I know he copied, and I know you
Well,
might have followed suit.
Mhm.
I have found that just running a pair of trail running shoes most of the time, whether it's for just work, going back and forth, or working on the job in our jobs, running those for shoes, it gives you I think a better grip on the ground, on the surfaces that we might cover
Yeah.
in the day than a lot of the other station boots and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get into the other aspects of our jobs that people don't really think about. Like you call the fire department, you're calling usually for it. We're the ones that handle anything that no one else knows how to handle.
Yeah,
So
or at least they
whether
think we
you're
should.
up on a mountain, whether you're up on a mountain, you're down in the river, whatever it is.
Mhm.
And I've found trail running shoes, like at the end of the day, you go we might be up on Welch and Dickey 1 minute, and then we might be down in the river doing a water rescue, and I can run these shoes in the water. I can run them out of the water. Like they're okay with getting wet.
Yeah.
And even if they get wet, they're comfortable. They're not destroying my feet.
Yep.
They just hold up.
Not for nothing, but as I get older, the arches in trail running shoes
Yeah.
are something to behold of.
Yeah, I have the flattest feet in the world.
God.
So
It is nice.
yeah.
The other thing, like we went out today, I was in rubber boots today. Like I was in those lacrosse boots, and my feet stayed dry. I was able to walk in the river, explore where we were. Like I didn't have to worry about anything. And I think there's something to be said about having the proper footwear for each discipline
Yeah.
and for each aspect of what you're doing. Like I also have those elk hunter boots that I wear most of the time in the fall, and are pretty cool and calm. Like they're warm, but my feet stay dry. I'm comfortable, and I can walk forever in them.
Right.
I run the Merrill Moab 2s, and those are pretty much my go-to for anything. They're great at everything, but not perfect for anything.
Yep.
Because I definitely like the trail runners if I'm going to be purposefully going out to a trail.
Yeah. The Solomon Trail Runners.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we all got
Speed
Speed
Cross.
Cross 5s.
6.
Whatever they are.
6?
6.
5s. These are 5s. Those are 5s.
Um,
I know 3 of us have the exact same color and pair, so
but yeah, the Merrill Moab, the high tops, they're tight around the ankles. So they're great for hiking. If I find myself in that situation, they're good for just grocery getting. They're just
I'm gonna go help him before he destroys your car.
yeah, that appreciate it.
Another ball break.
This ball break's brought to you by Wilson.
Wilson.
But yeah, can rock the Crocs on a good hiking trip.
You do, huh?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say. Tell me more.
Bold move, Cotton.
Bold move, yeah. No, I just like my neoprene boots because rubber boots don't have the sturdiness for me around the ankles for my flat feet. But they
You
also
also rip rubber boots.
Oh, I
and
tear
you're
them
the only
apart.
person I know that has destroyed a pair of those boots as quick as you
well,
have.
they apparently can't put up with my awesomeness.
You know what set of boots I actually genuinely love, especially during the winter? My old Globes.
Really?
An old pair of Globe structural boots
Yeah.
hold up something perfect.
Really?
They support the ankle. They're super tight around the ankle. They're composite toe, and they're thick and warm.
Huh.
I wear them snowmobiling. I wear them snowshoeing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's wild, but
Yeah.
they are really good.
Yeah.
They've got that shank in the arch, so that way if you got to
Yeah.
step on some weird stuff, yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. I would have never even thought about doing that, but maybe
An
I'll
old,
have to
an old
dabble.
expired pair of Globe
Right.
structural boots.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, no, I mean, I stumbled across the thing with the neoprene rubber boots for me, not rubber, but they're like rubber up to my ankles than neoprene from the rest. I struggled with finding ones that had a good tread because most of them, as they should be, are meant more for like wetland and muck and just like that kind of stuff, and
Quick
not
release of
yeah,
mud and-
they don't really have a good all around hiking tread, which is why I liked the lacrosse, the Burley Airs that you have. That tread's really good.
Oh, it holds up great. I wear them. You know me. I wear them
Yeah.
all the time.
I wish I could find a boot with that tread that isn't just rubber, because like you said, I tear through. I literally wore them for 20 minutes and I had a puncture right through them. But I did find these this company Dryshod, Dryshod. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. I found them down at Bass Pro in Hooksett, and they have like a bunch of little squares that are like, quarter inch by quarter inch, and that's the whole bottom of it. And it's actually a pretty good hiking tread, and it's not as fine of like tread as the Burley Airs have, but it has that same kind of concept with it.
Yep.
And it helps me, like I can power right through mud. I can be, up to my navel in water like I was recently.
They don't dry so well.
Well, you had the other pair, but yes. Yeah, I mean, it's they can do pretty much anything. The only thing that they don't have is good arch support, but I can get, inserts for them or whatever.
Super feet.
But that, I think the reason why I have such bad hip flexor pain sometimes is from wearing rubber boots and everything that I do. But I just anytime I'm out, I don't know what squirrel I might see, so to speak, of just I want to go over there, I want to go over there, I want to go over there. So I wear those because I can typically power through whatever I need to get through in order to get to where I feel I want to go that day. So if I just wear hiking boots and I'm going through knee-high or calf-high water, then I'm going to be soaked and uncomfortable. But if not, then if I'm wearing the neoprene boots, then it's a little different. So that's just my preference, is always wearing those. And even in the wintertime, I'll double up my socks, and because of the makeup of those, it keeps heat in really, really well, so my feet don't get cold unless I sit for too long.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with my feet getting cold in those burly airs, especially if I'm running, again, name brands, but Darn Tough socks. I run my Darn Tough socks. I'll run a thin pair to walk out to something. I'll slide on my hunting pair that's a lot thicker over and put my feet back in my boots. Even if my boots were sweaty, my feet don't get cold. They stay warm. I have a big issue due to having Raynaud's and all that type of stuff where my circulation is really bad. So if I get cold, I'm miserable. So I try, and then that's another reason I probably pack as much stuff as I do during hunting season and everything else, is I don't want to get cold. I don't want to have, or from hiking, I don't want to have issues trying to stay warm and still enjoy being outside.
Nothing ruins
So
a
I
trip
bring all the
faster.
I bring all the clothing and layers with me. That way I can stay warm and just stay outside. So I run. Hey,
we have another ball emergency. It's over there, dude.
over there.
It's over there. Go look. No, further.
Go find it.
Nope,
Go find
further. Come on, Dad. Go get it. Oh, he got it.
He'll find
he
it.
got it.
He'll find it
good
eventually. It just takes a minute. Some days he gives me a headache.
He got it. Look, Dad, I got it.
Good job.
I figured it out. Thanks to everybody for listening. Tune in next week for part 2 of this episode.